Hey, it's Mistress Carrie, reporting for duty from MCHQ for episode 45 of the Mistress Carrie podcast. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Digital Federal Credit Union, better known by everybody by now as DCU. And DCU believes that financial education empowers individuals to achieve their goals and to improve their financial footing. And that is why for a second straight year, DCU is sponsoring EverFi's Financial Literacy Bee. It's an opportunity for students to have some fun and, more importantly, learn about important financial concepts, all from the comfort of their own home. In just 30 minutes, students can take part in short interactive online lessons to help them better understand how to save, how to budget, and how to invest in their future. Plus, they have a chance to win up to $10,000 in college scholarships. Now, the bee runs through April 15th. So for more information, visit dcu.org/financialbee. This episode of the podcast is also sponsored by MistressCarrie.com, which is where you can find every episode of the Mistress Carrie podcast with all of the situation reports that come out every weekday and give you all of your rock news and your music headlines in under 5 minutes. Plus, you can watch all of the episodes of Cocktails in the War Room, all 126 of them starting March 14th of last year. You can check out the events calendar, my photo galleries, my blog, and of course the online Mistress Carrie store, where you can get awesome new baby onesies, perfect for this Mother's Day, which, by the way, is coming up. So just go to MistressCarrie.com. Now, speaking of Cocktails in the War Room, one of my first guests in the War Room was Marc from Dirty Honey. And on this episode, I got to catch up with Marc and John, who are very excited about the release of their self-titled debut full-length album, which comes out next Friday, April 23rd. I could not be happier for these guys. When their EP first came out and they came on my show to play acoustic, I told them then, and I'm telling them the same thing now. You are going to be huge. And once you see them live, well, you're going to be blown away. So if you've never heard of Dirty Honey, go and check out their music. I think you're going to love them. If you love rock and roll, you're totally going to love them. And I made it as easy as I can make for you, because with every episode of the Mistress Carrie podcast, there's a corresponding playlist. So just go in the show notes. The link's right there, and you can check out all of their music. They rock. I'm so happy that their new album is coming out, and I know that when they're allowed to get back out on the road and the rest of us are allowed to actually go and see concerts again, they are going to blow the doors off of every venue they go to. So allow me to introduce you to Marc and John from Dirty Honey.
Hey, what's up? This is Sully from Godsmack. Strap on those boots, baby, because you are now in the trenches of the War Room with the one and only Mistress Carrie right here on the Mistress Carrie podcast.
What's up? This is Joe Rogan, and you're listening to Mistress Carrie.
Her hair so lovely, pretty eyes.
Hey, this is Brent from Shinedown, and you're listening to Mistress Carrie. Hey, Carrie, go put your bra on, girl.
Hey, this is Steven Tyler, and you be listening to the baddest bitch in Boston, Mistress Carrie.
What's up? This is Aaron from Stain, and you're listening to Mistress Carrie.
Hi, everybody. This is Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters, and you're listening to the one, the only Mistress Carrie.
Hey, this is David from the band Disturbed, and you're listening to the baddest bitch in Boston, Mistress Carrie.
Hi, Bruce Dickinson here from Iron Maiden. Yes, indeed, Miss Whiplash herself, Mistress Carrie, is here to unchain your brain.
Hi, this is Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You're listening to Mistress Carrie.
This is Dennis Leary. You are listening to my favorite, Mistress Carrie.
Hey, this is Corey from Stone Sour, and you're listening to, you have the privilege of listening to Mistress Carrie. Oh, God. Oh, yeah.
So where are you right now?
I am in my new studio. Welcome to MCHQ.
Sick. Looks awesome.
Thanks for coming on the show. Yeah, this is my home studio. This is my post WAF workspace.
I love it. Rest in peace.
I know. Can you believe it's been over a year?
It's crazy. Yeah. Well,
does WAAF no longer exist, or it just doesn't have a spot?
No, I think it's like Christian radio now.
Well, the FM signal was sold.
Yeah.
And the company retained like the intellectual property, like the call letters, the logo, that kind of stuff. But basically all it is like a streaming music channel now. It doesn't have DJs. It's not like a real radio station anymore. So we've all kind of branched out and started doing our own things. And the Mistress Carrie podcast launched last June. And as Marc is aware, my video show, Cocktails in the War Room, started last March. We just had, not that long ago, our 1-year anniversary. We're almost 130 episodes in now.
Wow. That is crazy.
Isn't it nuts?
Is that what you're doing now?
Yeah.
Podcast?
Yeah.
This is the podcast.
Are you live?
We're live.
Yeah, we're recording, but we're not that professional, so don't worry about it.
Hey, Carrie, it's Marc, your manager.
Hi.
See you again.
It's nice to see you. Thanks for putting them in one place long enough for me to talk to them today.
Yeah, thanks for all your support. Hey, I'm assuming AAF isn't doing their radio show this summer, right, or this fall?
So the big gig was supposed to be in April of this year. It was just postponed to April 30th of next year. The promoter, Mass Concerts, is still putting on the show. Godsmack's still scheduled to headline. And
yeah, we were supposed to do that.
I know. The date is April 30th. And I'm sure they're going to reach out to you guys about it. But it's going to be like a celebration of the 50 years of WAF. And they're bringing Mike Shue and I back to host it.
Let's go.
Love you guys.
Tell them we need to be there.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for all your support.
Yeah, of course. We'll make the phone calls. Just call me. We'll do lunch.
Email, Captain. Jeez.
See, just like that, the managers just come in and just take over.
Come in, he's like, all right.
We're at his
yeah, we
place.
technically are on his turf, so I guess. Yeah.
It is amazing how crazy things have gotten for you guys since we met. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, it was going to get a lot crazier, I think, and then COVID happened.
Yeah.
But, what are you going to do? Now I think it might even get crazier than it was going to get because the records are better.
Well, that's what I was talking about. So back in 2019, we hear about this band, Dirty Honey, and you release an EP, and you're out on the road, and the powers that be call, and they're like, hey, the band's driving through Boston. Do you want to talk to them? And like maybe they could come to the studio and play acoustic and stuff. You guys just had an EP out. We're on the road, had a day off, and we're like, fuck it, let's go to Boston. And you come in and blew everybody's mind away.
That was a fun day. I specifically
really
remember that day. I not only meeting you for the first time, but just like we went to the Aerosmith house.
Yeah, that was a little underwhelming.
That was a little underwhelming.
It's a plaque on a wall, but it's cool though. It's part of rock and roll history. It's like
we had to do it. There was no not doing it.
I have my Aerosmith shirt on. Yeah, we need Aerosmith's got to do a little something better with that.
Come on, guys.
Spot.
Come on. Guys.
They can buy it and make it whatever. It should be like a home museum at this point. Just buy the place.
What I loved is that I meet you guys. You're a new band. You come in, you play acoustic. You get one of our video guys to like take you to the Aerosmith house because you don't know where the hell you're going. And then I get a message from the video guy, and he's like, hey, the Dirty Honey guys are looking for some tickets to go see the Red Sox and Yankees at Fenway. And I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? Do they think it's that easy to get Sox-Yanks tickets? Come on.
Fortunately, we got them.
We're already looking for favors.
Yeah, we got them. A buddy of mine actually hooked us up out there, and we wound up like 4 rows deep or something behind home plate. And then your face came up at the game on the billboard or whatever. So that was
pretty cool.
That was a good day.
I tried to get you tickets and I couldn't. And I messaged back and was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I can't get you tickets. Next thing you know, I watch your Instagram and you're eating hot dogs at Fenway. And I'm like, those motherfuckers, they got tickets somehow. And then you message me and you're like, did you know you're on the Jumbotron at Fenway?
Yeah, that was a good day. I thought you were going to go the other direction, though, with that anecdote and say that your video guy was helping our bass player buy weed.
Well, somewhere. I was going to go there, but I didn't want to call you guys out, but it's legal. So
yeah, we don't care.
Oh, he is calling himself out. He is actively searching for endorsements.
He's looking for his own strain of weed.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, he's got a guy in Washington, dude. He's got
this
dude.
guy in Washington just hooks him up every
Gives
time
him
we go
like
through.
the drop.
It's so funny.
Your band name is like perfect. You should have a Dirty Honey strain of weed.
You probably should.
Yeah, the manager's gonna get right on that.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Can I just get cut in? Like when you guys launch your weed, can you just sponsor the Mistress Carrie podcast? Because I want to be able to say the Mistress Carrie podcast sponsored by Dirty Honey Weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
dirty,
it is
dirty
fully-
honey indica or whatever.
It's fully legal in Mass, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Maine. It's kind of New England, basically, right?
Yeah,
Or
I
just
mean,
Maine.
you can go to the dispensaries now. Like you get a pot license, like you get a liquor license, and you can open up, and you can even grow your own. I think you're limited to like 6 or 12 plants per adult in the household or something. So it's totally
I
legal.
don't smoke, so that doesn't help me too much.
I don't smoke too much either.
Yeah, he does. But Justin smokes enough for literally everybody in rock and roll, probably. So it's he's gonna keep the whole industry afloat.
Whatever you want to do to get through the pandemic. If you got to smoke some weed, drink some wine, eat a bunch of cheese, like whatever it is that you got to do.
I guess his whole life's been a
John's
pandemic.
notorious for that at the shows.
Yeah.
We get our like meat and cheese platter, and that fucking thing.
It's called
gone.
a charcuterie tray, gentlemen. If you're,
Yeah, exactly.
If you're gonna be rock stars, you have to.
Though to be charcuterie.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, you're getting ready to release your full length record, so it's gone from the meat and cheese tray to the charcuterie tray.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. So we're leaving like the what is it out there, Hannaford's level, and we're gonna get up to or Stop and Shop.
Yeah, Stop and Shop, Hannaford, Shaw's.
We're getting above that, and we're gonna get to I don't know,
Select.
Trader Joe's. Get Select.
Yeah, you guys are going Whole Foods. Huh?
So you've heard the record.
Yes. Well, I've heard some of the record. I've not heard all of the record. Sometimes people don't want to send me the whole thing because they're afraid that I'm going to do something nefarious with it.
You're gonna tweet it. Yeah, you might tweet it. So you got The Wire, Tied Up.
Another last time in California.
I don't think I didn't get all of those.
Okay.
No, but you can send them to me if you want.
Oh,
I won't tweet them to anyone. But
flash forward to an hour from now.
But I did obviously hear the single because California Dreamin' is out, and I saw the video, and I looked at it, and I was like, oh my God, they're like I don't want this to come out wrong, but I was so proud of you. Like, you guys, you look like the rock stars I know you are, and the video looked great, and the song sounds great, and I was just like, yes. This is exactly what they needed to do. I was so happy for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we try and stay away from the obvious, like stereotypical, I don't know, grunge, play in the garage type music video thing. You know, just always kind of felt like we're a band from LA. Obviously, this town is known for great cinematography and movie and TV and entertainment industry stuff, and kind of wanted to raise the bar on the music video creative and execution, if you will. And, you know, we have a great group of friends that are cinematographers that are willing to take that challenge on, you know.
You're a band from LA. However, you are +1 masshole. Don't take him away from us. You gotta let us keep a little bit of that Massachusetts in there. And if you're gonna tell people you're a LA band, you can also now tell everybody you're a Boston band because we've adopted you.
And Aerosmith is a Boston band, but Steven Tyler's from the Bronx, I think. Yonkers.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Good.
Yeah.
It's wherever you met, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no matter what, Bostonians are going to claim something, whether it's really ours or not. And because we've been there with you since the beginning, we're just going to tell everyone you're a Boston band. And whether or not it's true, not our problem, bro.
You're claiming Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he's always going to be ours. I don't care how many rings he wins in Tampa Bay.
No, it's the Tampa Bay's winning with some Patriots. the way I look at it.
I mean, seriously, it's the New England Patriots South. Let's be honest. And I love the fact that you guys are so connected with all of your cinematography friends and stuff, because I was showing you MCHQ, my studio. Because of the lockdown last year, I had a lot of audio engineer friends that really weren't doing anything. So I called them up and I was like, do you guys mind putting some masks on and coming over and wiring my home studio for me?
Yeah.
Was that kind of the same phone call with the music video? Like, I know you guys aren't really doing too much. Can you make a video for us?
I've actually been in touch with them. We've been doing stuff with them all throughout the pandemic. We did a couple of suitcase sessions videos where we like played acoustic on top of a mountain. You know, and they're like us, you know, they're like looking for stuff to do. And they're pretty busy, honestly. They work a lot, but you know, when it's something that's cool and you know, has a creative challenge to it, they're usually down.
And they're really pro. I mean, like, we're kind of downplaying how dope they really are. But the cool thing is, we didn't just go call the dope guys. You know, we didn't say, hey, who's the best?
They're up and coming in their
They're
own
up and coming, and the owner, Scott, I mean, he's just been a kid at our gigs.
Forever. Yeah.
He's just come through, he's quiet, he hangs. Like when we're playing a crappy bar, and he's been friends with Marc for a long time. So, you know, he's part of the fam, so to speak. You know what I mean? And
always has been, always will be. And
so
he was one of the first people I met out here.
That makes it really cool to me, because it's just like
everybody sort of is, the tide is rising together, you know, and it's cool to see him working with bigger artists, and you know, and when it came time for us to do something legit, he was the first call I made. You know?
Well, I feel like I'm kind of reinventing myself too, even though I've been in the business for so long. It's like there's the whole generation of bands that came up with me when I started my radio career, and now I'm getting introduced to a whole new generations of bands while I'm diving headfirst into my podcasting career. So it's like I'm starting all over again too, and it's really cool.
Yeah. What other good new bands are you getting exposed to? I'm like curious.
I talked to Aaron Jones, who's not really brand new, but he's just fantastic.
Yeah.
I talked to the guys from Blitzkrieg, Escape the Fate, From Ashes to New. Like, there's a lot of great bands out there, and more coming. I mean, that's what I was going to ask you guys. Every band I've talked to over the last year plus has been super nervous or debated back and forth about, do you release a new record right now? And especially last year, a lot of bands didn't want to release a record because they couldn't tour on it. Some bands released it just because they wanted to give their fans something. You guys had already had your EP out, and then you took this time to write a record. Was there any discussion about pushing the release date off until the fall, when it would be a little bit easier for you guys to tour? I'm psyched it's coming out now.
This fall, no.
We wanted to get it out.
This is already the pushback.
Yeah, we wanted to have stuff out, I think, of like May of last year. So, our fans waited plenty long enough for us to put out some new stuff. And now that it's finally here, and, you know, COVID gave us a little more time to dial in what we were doing and find ourselves and create more like quality material that we were all proud of. So I don't think they'll be disappointed with the wait, not only the wait, but the product they waited for. So
tell me how the downtime and COVID influenced the record. What's different about it than if you had come out with it when you had originally planned on it?
We may have just come out with an EP if
for sure. I think we were really under the gun, and it was like good problems to have. We had a really busy schedule lined up, so there wasn't going to be extra room to make it longer really in 2020. And I think California Dreamin' is a direct result of having extra time. That was the last one to come together. I wrote that riff literally with just my free time, because I had free time and I have a studio. So I just went in there and kind of like, I'm going to be in the studio all day. Let's see what comes out. And that was one of the things that came out. That for sure was not even a twinkle in our eye when we were originally going to go into the studio. So
was it not, that didn't exist?
It didn't exist.
Yeah, I remember he showed me that riff, and I was like, hell yeah.
That one more than anything from inception was a quarantine baby. So,
and I would say the other one, Another Last Time, was definitely also a quarantine baby, and so was No Warning. There's a song called No Warning, coming out. That was a riff I'd been tooling around with, and knew I only had a good riff.
Yeah.
It was just a riff, it wasn't anything. And had I not had the time to find the melodies, to make it work, it wouldn't exist.
Is that how it usually works with you guys? Tell me your process about where the songs come from. Is it that someone brings an idea, or do you have lyrics already done and you're looking for the right music? How does it start?
It's usually, I think almost every time it's been music that sparks the lyric melody, unless he writes the song himself, which has been a few songs where he wrote the whole thing himself, like Down the Road and Another Last Time and No Warning.
Yeah, but no warning.
No Warning
was more similar in that it usually starts with a riff.
Yeah.
You got to have that initial thing that grabs you to say, I want to even work on this, to take it somewhere.
And that was sparked by almost like another song.
Yeah.
Like it was going to be another song. And then it just the steps are crazy. You just have to be open. And you never know. When I mean open, even you might have an idea that you think's great, and the more you work on it, in the middle of working on it, I could accidentally noodle something greater, and then all of a sudden that's the song we're working on, and we're no longer working on.
Totally.
Or the idea for the bridge we realize is just better than the whole song, so now that's the song, and No Warning was kind of like that. It started as this whole other thing, and we could never find a riff. Then he wrote the riff, and it's well, now that's now reinforming the whole flavor. And that's just the story of that song. So
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That took a crazy left turn.
Took a crazy left turn for the better, for sure. But mostly, I think generically, it starts with somebody submitting a riff, which is most of the time me, but he's submitted some gems, and Justin submitted a gem. And, it's everyone can wear that hat if it's open like that.
Yeah.
So
how are the writing? Oop, go ahead.
I was just saying, I think John, when he knows he's hit something, I usually either get a call or a wink, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
And he's confident about it when it's that good. So
tell me about how you were writing during the lockdown. Were you guys holed up together? Were you doing Zoom?
No, we didn't give a shit
sessions?
or anything. We just got together. We didn't care. We just, whatever. We were literally in a room smaller than the room you're in right now, probably all together. We didn't give a shit. We were just, it's fine.
Not me, just kidding. No, but we all knew we were just basically doing nothing and sitting in our apartment. So it'd be do you want to come over and rehearse?
Well, a lot of bands did that. It's about creating your bubble, right? So it's you get the people that you're going to be in a bubble with, and why wouldn't you get a band together and be in a bubble together and work on new music? I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when we weren't together, it kind of functions that way anyway. Someone has an idea, you just send it to the other person anyway, because you sort of you don't want to go too far if you don't know your bandmates like it or not,
Yeah.
So
tell me about the meeting of coming up with the amazing title for the album. I just thought it was so fresh and so different. And I was just wow, those guys really.
The Cream album.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was more the idea behind it. It was just, I had this whole elaborate art in my head it was almost like a time capsule of what the album cover should be of the last year. And then we were kind of but does anybody really want to be reminded of everything that's gone on this year when we get out of this? And then the music didn't reflect the chaos of the year. And so we started throwing titles around, and there were so many different angles. You'd come out with all the things we had, and I was just like, I just literally thought the Cream looked awesome with the logo, and I was like, why don't we just do a Cream fucking album cover with the logo? And like, that looks amazing and classic. And
no, but I mean the actual album title, like
LP.
Yeah, like when I went to name my podcast, I went through a bunch of different names and I was working on a bunch of stuff. And everybody I talked to was like, if you name it anything other than the Mistress Carrie podcast, you're a fucking idiot. Like there's just a certain time where you just have to put your name on it and have that be it.
Yeah. And it's just the music.
And we just felt that having the Black EP and then the Cream LP had more continuity as our body of works than trying to use a song title for one of the names. That was an idea. And then this song title. And then we were trying to find lyrics that stood out and then it just got all too thinky. And we realized
ultimately we were like, this is just a banging LP. Let's just call it that. Let the music.
Yeah, that's
I was just going to say, don't say let the music do the talking, you Aerosmith head.
A song like nobody knows, by the way. I love that song. Yeah. But yeah, it's just gotta let the body of work speak for itself, really.
It does actually say banging, but in visible letters.
Yeah.
What were you guys doing to keep yourselves occupied during the lockdown when you weren't working on the record and weren't working on music? Were you playing Candyland in your studio? Like, what the hell were you doing?
I bought a basketball hoop, like a $200 one, put it in the street, old school style. Started playing hoops again. Got into camping, and like just that out here they call it like dispersed camping, with AKA just camp somewhere in the woods. So
yeah,
that was really fun. I mean, and with nothing to do, it'd be like we went out for like 3 days and be like, let's stay for a couple more days, and then stay for a couple more days, and then you went and did a lot of traveling in the woods, like you always do.
I was like riding through like Montana and Utah and Yellowstone on my motorcycle and running from grizzly bears. Me and a buddy are really into riding and doing wildlife photography, and we've just found this great sweet spot in Grand Teton where there's like grizzly bears like everywhere.
That seems like a good idea on a motorcycle.
It was awesome. I went up to Alaska and rode through Denali National Park and just came way too close to a grizzly bear there. But yeah, Wyoming was a pretty insane grizzly encounter. Yeah, my heart rate has never been so high.
I bet the pucker factor is like 10.
I ran faster than I've ever run in my life.
And they didn't want you.
No, they wanted this dead elk that was. I was very near, and
well, they always say you don't have to run fast. You just have to run faster than the other guy. So
fortunately, I was alone, and there were 3 grizz within way too close a proximity.
Yeah, what is it? Yeah, you just have to be faster than the slowest camper.
Yeah, it was fun though. We had a good time. Good way to waste a week.
Yeah, just to get away. It seems like it.
Yeah,
I know that you guys, so the record's coming out April 23rd, and I know that I don't have you very long, so I'm going to ask you now, like, before the record comes out, will you guys all get together and come in the War Room with everybody again? Will you jump on Skype with us and come in the War Room and have a drink and celebrate the release?
You had me at drink.
I'm down.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, Marc did it before, but he was by himself, so now I want you guys to all come in the War Room because everybody... I mean, we just had our year anniversary and everybody in the War Room is like, how are those guys doing? So they're going to be super psyched that you ended up on the podcast. But you got to come in. I want to have a little record release party for you in the War Room.
Sick. Right. Let's do it.
And I got to ask you this question. I started asking every band I talked to this question, and the answers have been fascinating. So I've decided I'm asking everyone this question. As songwriters, regardless of artist, genre, era, whatever, tell me the song you wish you wrote.
Okay.
It's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of songs out there, but I want to know which one you wish you wrote and why.
I could maybe give you 3.
Okay, I'll take 3.
One would be Dream On. The other would be Heartbreaker by Led Zeppelin. Probably the greatest riff of all time, I would say. I had to pick one riff.
Really good.
It's a good riff. Good. And maybe I'm Amazed, Paul McCartney.
That's a great song.
I love that song. Yeah.
I can't do this one. There's too many. There's too many that come to my head.
Well, so give me a couple. What it doesn't. I mean, I'm not going to carve this in granite and hold you to it for the rest of your life. But because I'm not a songwriter and not a musician, I love the answers that I get from artists and musicians because you're coming at it from a songwriter's perspective, not just the fan.
Yeah. I mean, I've always wished I wrote the riff Heartbreaker. Not to take one of his, but that Led Zeppelin 2 was like the first album that made me want to play guitar. So I definitely wish I wrote that riff.
That's a great riff. I always struggle between Walk This Way and Heartbreaker. I just think those two riffs just have so much swag to me. Wish I wrote them all.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't. I feel too on the spot. I can't do it. Too many songs. It's just too many. I don't know.
It is funny, like, when you really start thinking about it. Like, if someone doesn't ask you that question,
you kind of know it. Yeah.
You could come up with it. But when someone asks you the question, it's like, when you start thinking about all the songs you love.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's just, I used to cover maybe I'm Amazed, and that is an amazing song.
So good, yeah.
The song, like, just that's musicians, like, a knowledge of music there that's like crazy chord changes and stuff.
Yeah. And there's like a lot of Stevie Wonder songs that I have that element to it, where it's like it doesn't sound nerdy, but it really is. Yeah.
Well, that's why a songwriter's perspective is different than a fan's perspective, because sometimes the intricacies of the craft get lost on a fan, but another songwriter picks up on things, the subtleties of it.
I mean, I kind of wish I wrote Life's Been Good, but I just love Joe Walsh's personality and how he is able to connect 3 seemingly unrelated ideas in that song. I wish I wrote that song. I kind of wish I wrote every power ballad ever.
I mean,
later.
they do make money.
Not the super cheesy ones, but like the cheesy ones.
Twice as Hard would be a good one. Great riff, sick chorus. Yeah, that's a great fucking song.
And the royalties, when people keep covering it, don't suck either.
Yeah, that helps.
I mean, dude, I wish I wrote Hallelujah by what's his name, Leonard Cohen. I mean, that's a perfect song. That's a perfected piece of music. Well, I wish I wrote half of Back in Black too. I think that album is perfect music as well.
It doesn't make any sense that a band as huge as AC/DC could change lead singers and come out with arguably their best and biggest album.
Oh, it's definitely the best and biggest album for sure.
I mean, don't even know. As a band, you know how hard it is to replace any member, but especially a lead singer like that. And then you come out with Back in Black. It's like, what the fuck?
Fun little fact. I got to talk to Brian a little bit during quarantine, and he told me that they toured on the Back in Black record for 3 weeks before the record even came out. And he would be sitting there on stage, kind of this new guy, in the band, and everybody's obviously judging him. And Malcolm would like turn to me and be like, "Yeah, mate, let's play Back in Black right now. Let's really give him a kick in the ass." And he'd be like, "All right." So he's like singing Back in Black and Shook Me All Night Long and Shoot to Thrill. Nobody knows these songs yet for 3 weeks. And then he said he remembered they were in Syracuse when some famous DJ came on and was like, "I'm debuting a record that's going to change everybody's lives in here." And then it all turned.
Can you imagine being at one of those first 3 weeks of AC/DC shows and hearing Back in Black and
Crazy.
And not knowing what it was?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being the singer in that band, having to deal with all that. And yeah, the history is crazy.
Yeah. Well, I know you guys got to run, so I got to let you go, but it was really good to see you. Congratulations on the record. I'm so glad that not only the world is starting to open back up, but that you guys have a whole full-length album coming out, and that hopefully we're going to be able to get you back in town and see you in person again, which would be amazing. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we agree. Thanks for the support, and thanks
Great
for
to talk to
listening
you
to the
again.
tunes. And
Yeah.
we'll be doing some shots sooner than later.
I'm going to call you guys. I want to have your record release party in the War Room for sure.
Good deal.
All right. Give us the shots.
Bye, guys. See you later. Tell the rest of
Thank
the
you.
guys I said hi.
We will.
There they are, Marc and John from Dirty Honey. I seriously could not love those guys anymore. And the new record, self-titled, comes out next Friday, April 23rd. You got to check out the corresponding playlist that is linked in the show notes of this podcast, because it is filled with AC/DC, Aerosmith, of course, Dirty Honey, and all of the other songs that they said they wish they wrote, which I know is a really hard question. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to hit subscribe and follow the Mistress Carrie podcast so you don't miss anything. New episodes come out every Wednesday. Plus, every weekday, you get the Situation Report. You get all your music headlines and rock news in the sit rep in under 5 minutes every weekday. And if you don't mind, give us a 5-star review. And don't forget to leave a comment, because I want to know what you guys thought about the episode. All of the band's links are in the show notes as well if you're looking for more info on Dirty Honey. And I even linked the episode of Cocktails in the War Room when Marc LaBelle joined us in the middle of lockdown last year. Thanks once again to our sponsors, Digital Federal Credit Union at dcu.org and MistressCarrie.com. The Mistress Carrie podcast is a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network.